Today on Fitness FAQs, we're going to learn 3 calisthenics skills everyone can do. Which skill are you most excited to learn? Comment now and enjoy the video. Let's start by mastering the L-sit. We're using parallettes because they're friendly on the wrists and they also provide extra exercises for all levels. The following fundamental techniques apply to each L-sit exercise and progression. Be sure to keep straight arms because locked elbows makes the hold more efficient and easier. Next, pack the shoulders down. This lifts the torso further from the floor, giving the legs more clearance. To promote maximum hip flexion, squeeze the quads and straighten the knees. Beginners should start with the low L-sit. This is with the legs below hand level. Intermediate is when the legs are horizontal, forming a right angle with the torso. The advanced V-sit is when the amount of hip flexion increases. The eventual goal is to get the thighs touching the chest. Well, someday I guess. Dynamic L-sit training is a perfect way to build core and hip flexor strength. Single leg extensions are a great dynamic progression to start with. These are also nice for decreasing the inevitable side-to-side weaknesses most of us have between legs. To increase the challenge, move onwards to the double leg extension. This exercise teaches the quad muscles how to flex the hip and extend the knee simultaneously. The main advantage of dynamic training in this situation relates to volume. It's possible to accumulate more time under tension by extending in and out of the L-sit. Some people may find hamstring and calf tightness is a limiting factor. Spending time in the pike stretch is a great use of rest periods between L-sit sets. An alternative is to fold forwards while standing. Gravity is now going to assist in lengthening the posterior leg muscles. When possible, get started training the L-sit hold on the floor. We're now genuinely forced to lock the elbows and depress the shoulders. This is the most honest setup because cheating is prevented. The floor doesn't let us drop the legs too low. Lastly, don't skip the toe point. Plantar flexion helps to promote quad tension and is a useful cue for those with tight hamstrings. The croc or elbow lever is a fun party trick that everyone can learn. See that lovely red mark between belly button and pelvis? Shove your elbow in that spot. Now set up by facing the hands sideways to provide a comfortable base. Next, walk yourself around to the balancing arm for correct torso alignment. When feeling centered and ready, slowly lift the legs and the chest. You should now be balancing and resting on the elbow. Here's 3 progressions to alter lever length and difficulty. Step 1 is bent knees hovering off the ground. Step 2 is straddling the legs to enhance stability during balance. Step 3 is legs together, which is least forgiving, most challenging, and looks sleek. Here's how to progress difficulty, which forces the balancing side to balance. Step 1 is fingertips because we can't provide as much support. Step 2 is lift-offs. This is going to teach the balance side to work more. Step 3 is look mum, no hands. With practice, patience, and consistency, you're going to unlock the balance no problem. Crocs and elbow levers can be pretty intense on the wrist. Here are 2 nice dynamic stretches that you can use to warm up or between sets. For those of you still finding the skill awkward, begin your journey practicing on an elevation. The hands can grip onto the edge, which makes balance easier and also reduces wrist strain. There's also more room for error as the legs can drop lower than the hands when first learning. As mentioned before, play around with the leg shape to gain confidence balancing in different postures. This skill is one which looks harder than it actually is. With the right technique, it doesn't require much strength. This is a great move for impressing people who don't know any better. A little practice for a lifetime of praise. If you're into calisthenics, the handstand is a skill everyone should check off their bucket list. Before thinking to yourself this is impossible, don't set limits before trying. Freestanding handstands are the long-term goal. Of course, basics need to be learned first. The headstand is a great place to start feeling comfortable upside down. Beginners are going to experience a fast learning curve with the tripod base of support. Here's what to do. Don't make the mistake of resting on your face or resting on the back of your head. It's not rocket science. Keep the weight on your forehead for a strong neutral neck. To safely get upside down, step both knees up onto the elbows. When feeling centered, slowly lengthen the body until the hips are stacked vertically. From here, you've got 3 positions to play with: the tuck, the straddle, and the full. Each position challenges balance to a greater extent because the weight gets shifted further from the base of support. Feel free to play around with each. Transitioning between shapes is really useful for balance mastery. The shoulders, hips, knees, and ankles should be vertically aligned. As long as the weight is centered between hands and head, there should be no problem maintaining inversion. For the scaredy cats watching, take it to the wall. When overshooting balance, the wall serves as a safety net, preventing falls and prioritizes practice. Now to start building some overhead strength for hand balancing, the pike handstand is next. Take as much weight as you can handle in the upper body. Accomplish this by keeping the hips shifted towards the hands. Be sure to maintain an open shoulder angle. We want to begin replicating the overhead demands of handstands. Don't get lazy and relax the upper back muscles. You must elevate the scapula to start training upper trap strength. This small detail is going to serve you really well later on for real handstand training. The hand distance apart is highly individual and it's based on your height and your anatomy. The pike position is a useful stepping stone because we can build strength in the absence of balance. After paying dues with the pike, it's time to graduate. The chest to wall handstand is great for challenging overhead strength even further. It's going to force the upper body to work harder in the exact position we want to unlock freestanding. The wall is an excellent teacher. It provides physical feedback of body position in space. The quickest way to learn balance is with heel pulls. We're practicing finding the balance point with the added security of the wall. There's no wasted time or energy falling out of the handstand. Simply reset and keep trying until fatigued. Building handstand strength, balance, and coordination isn't an overnight task. Progress is rarely linear, but eventually, with a touch of tenacity, have faith knowing that improvements are going to come eventually. You're now armed with all the know-how needed to unlock some pretty cool calisthenics skills. Be consistent because the process of improvement is a fun journey. There's something special about learning calisthenics. The skills can't be bought, they need to be earned, and this is deeply gratifying. Okay legends, that's it for today. Thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to never miss a new video. Go ahead and visit fitnessfaqs.com for the #1 calisthenics programs and become strong like a gymnast, look like a bodybuilder, and move freely.